Hey guys, what's happening? It's AEZ, All Elite Zone, Canada style. We're here for another episode 23 already. And I'm happy to be joined by our regulars. We got Connor and Siren. How are you guys doing this week?
I'm doing good. So
Good.
Um,
I've been on here in about 2 weeks, so it's good to be back on.
Good. You're back from your world tour. You're back, settled back in.
you and your little TNA awesomeness. By the way, I did watch that, Connor. And it was pretty stellar. I can't complain. And I'm doing awesome.
Good, awesome. I am doing all right here. I'm in Toronto, and we're finally getting our first blast of actual winter. And I think it's -9, -10 Celsius, which is a little bit of snow, which is funny because again, we're supposed to be here in the wild, cold north, and it's already mid-January, so really can't complain out my way. But we're going to review the latest episode of Dynamite that we did from last week, which I think was a pretty good show overall. And it was the return to Daly's place in Jacksonville. So it was affectionately, I guess, labeled as a homecoming, so which was actually pretty cool. It was the home for the majority of the pandemic. So there is a lot of history there in the short history of AEW. But just to, I guess, overall thoughts, what did you guys think this week? Connor?
For AEW or
Yeah, for Dynamite, what was your before we head into the matches? What were your kind of your overall thoughts from Dynamite this past week?
I thought it was very interesting. For me, I don't think it wasn't the best, it wasn't the worst. Uh, there was some moments I really liked in the episode, and some of that I could care less about. Uh, but there was also a lot of stuff that's going to be happening for the future. It's up a lot of stuff potentially for the next pay per view and months to come. So yeah, I thought it was a pretty decent episode. Wasn't the best, wasn't the worst for me.
What do you like the Daily's place setup?
Yes, I do. I really like this one's a little bit different. They changed it up a little bit. I don't know what they did. I thought they had LED lights or something different, but I really like the setup.
Bigger screens, bigger screens.
Is that what it was?
I really like how the crowd, how that is just very unique. It's like when WCW would have like Saturday Night Live and at Disney, and the ring would spin around. It's just very unique. Uh, Jacksonville will always be unique for AEW and probably wrestling in general because you don't see that type of. I believe Tony Khan said one time that was uh, like South Park had a wrestling event on their show, and Tony Khan wanted to have that, and then Daly's Place fit that perfectly. Uh, I don't know where he said that. It was an interview in 2019 that that's what he wanted. That fits it perfectly. If anyone's seen the South Park wrestling episode,
No,
No, but now I'm gonna watch
Daly's
it.
Place
yeah,
that looks exactly like Daly's Place.
no
Uh,
way.
they I don't know how that came about, but I've always liked Daly's Place, and I've been there one time before. It's very unique, and you won't see an arena like that anywhere else.
No, it's very cool. I like it. I'm a big fan. Siren, what was your overall thoughts from this week, and how do you like the setup at Daly's place?
I absolutely love the setup at Daly's Place, actually. And I remember commenting on it when we were watching during our live reaction. I was like, "Oh, that's really nice," and I like how they have like the center fans there, and it does look really cool. I'm a big fan of that. And there's some like spots that are gonna come up through here that I'm gonna like really hammer home. But there's like one really funny spot during the ladies match that I want to talk about, so we'll hit that then. And yeah, some scary spots too. So it was all in all, I think it was an okay episode. As Connor mentioned, I do feel like it is setting up quite a bit of stuff. Did we not? Was that not when we got the announcement for Sting's last match?
Kind of.
Kind of. Yeah. The okay. So yeah, we'll hit on that too. So yeah, it was good.
All right, well, let's dive right into it. I know they start the show with the Blackpool Combat Club, Claudio Castagnoli versus Hangman Adam Page. Connor, your thoughts on
This
this
is
match? What do
really
you think?
good. These two guys have never went against each other, and some could say it's a dream match. Uh, we've talked about this before on live reactions, like the unthinkable matches, like matches you wouldn't even book. Like if you were a booker, you wouldn't even book them because you don't even realize these type of matches. That was a really good back and forth match. I thought Hangman lost a tooth there for a minute. because he was doing the spinning thing, and then he was grabbing his tooth like he lost a tooth. I was like, oh no. I thought it was a really good back and forth match. I kind of expected Hangman to get a win in this one because he lost against Swerve twice, and what happens later on during the night, which is kind of sets it up why he needs to get a few wins, which we'll talk about later probably. But yeah, I thought this is a really good first match to start the night.
Siren, your thoughts?
I was shook. I'm not a Hangman fan, and everybody knows that by now. I've been on a couple episodes. I've been here for a few weeks. People know. So yeah, I'm not a massive Hangman fan, and so I went into this being like, kick his ass, Claudio, and yeah, as Connor said, it was really good back and forth. A lot of interesting spots. The buckshot lariat didn't make me go. I was like, oh, okay, well, that actually looks pretty clean. That looked pretty good. And so I was rather impressed. I don't know if it was the magic of Daly's place that did it for me, or if it was like, I'm just starting to come around on the Hangman side. We'll see.
Yeah, you know what? I thought this was a really good match. A good match to start off with. These are both, I think, great wrestlers, great competitors. Can make each other look really good, and they did. I do like. I understand your sentiment with Hangman, Siren, and thoughts, and I was kind of like a bit on Hangman, but every time I kind of like go meh, then he always does something great in a match. I'm like and you really see like now it's almost like a switch was flipped where it's like, okay, we're gonna give you, it kind of slowed down. It kind of looked like he was fine where he was, just kind of in the mid, floating around. And then it was guys like Swerve starting to call him out, and they must have been something like, okay, you know what, it's time to get back on, turn the switches on. They're starting to mention his title reign, championship. Remember, he kept on saying, we don't remember that, but they kept on. They're starting to bring it up. They're starting to bring up, bring up his status. So I think you're going to see a big push with Adam Page, along with Swerve, those guys. So, but I think it's already happened. You can see, but he's coming with an intensity. He's coming back. It's like he looks rejuvenated. He looks like he believes in the Hangman character, and I don't know, maybe it's the mustache that he's growing out that's making him. It's making him that real cowboy mentality. So, but overall, I thought that was a pretty good match. Yeah, I mean, again, I was kind of hoping, and this was good. I'm glad he got the win. He needed this. If they are going to run with him, he had to win this one. So
he did.
Overall,
he really did.
Overall, I thought it was a good way to start Daly's place. Like it's like a special event. I guess they're being homecoming, so good start to the match. And second, we had a nice little highlight package that aired, which was a tribute to Mr. Brody Lee, which is great. You know what? I got a hats off to AEW to continually acknowledge him. It wasn't a one-shot deal. It wasn't just once that they brought. They mentioned it because it felt like Daly's place was Brody Lee, and I love the acknowledgement with that to kind of create this. Maybe it's also them trying to create a bit of that specialness that comes along with Daly's place and what has happened in Daly's place. So I do like that. And AEW, I think, is really good at doing that. And we had the 8-man tag match, which in honor of the Exalted One, Mr. Brody Lee, and we had the AEW International Champion. We had Orange Cassidy, Adam Copeland, Dustin Rhodes, and LFI's Preston Vance going up against the Murder Hawk Monster, who was accompanied by Jake the Snake Roberts, along with, he partnered with the ROH World 6-Man Tag Champions, the Mogul Embassy, Brian Cage, Bishop Khan, and Toa Leona. Connor, what did you think of this match, and how did you like the teams?
So when I say this is not my favorite episode, this is where it starts. I thought the match itself was good. It's very unique seeing Edge and Brian Cage and Lance Archer. That's just we never thought would really happen. And him teaming with someone like Orange Cassidy and Dustin Rhodes and Preston Vance, very, very out of the ordinary. The thing I did not like is the big men yet again lose. Always, and it's always the same ones: Brian Cage and Lance. It's always them. But I did like the how they set this up. They didn't really. It was kind of put into a feud, which was on Collision Saturday. it seemed like Lance Archer and the Mobile Embassy, Brian Cage and Gates of Agony, seemed a little like they couldn't work together. Lance Archer didn't tag them in. Brian Cage didn't tag Lance Archer in. So it was basically they all cost themselves. But I thought this was a very unique match. And Preston Vance got the pin, if I'm not mistaken, just like we saw in the other match we'll get to. It seemed like tonight that this episode was a really, as he said, a tribute to Brody Lee, and not just Brody Lee, but the Dark Order themselves. Even if these members aren't in the Dark Order anymore, it still felt like a tribute to a Brody Lee type show. Which I did like Dustin Rhodes getting the win and Edge and Orange Cassidy. I thought that was a really good match. I just don't like the big men always losing, but I did like how they how this ended and how they continued a bit of a story.
Gotcha. Siren, what are your thoughts on this one?
Pardon me, I'm still getting over my sickness, but it's like just very, very minimal. Anyway, so I want to hit back to how you mentioned that they keep like, you know, like bringing it back to Brody and stuff like that, and really like paying homage to Brody. And they help. I know they've done a lot of stuff with Amanda and -1, and that's really cool. Like still taking care of his family because they're all still family, and I really love that. So like, thank you, my marshmallow, Tony Khan. You're absolutely awesome. And everybody else, obviously, backstage, because we've all seen everybody get treated like family back there, and it's just so gosh darn sweet. But for the match itself, I really did love. I believe Preston Vance did pull off a which we call it discus lariat as well, which was Brody Lee's finisher, which was pretty cool. And yeah, it was just interesting. Like I've been on like this huge Dustin Rhodes kick. I'm always on a Dustin Rhodes kick. But like they've been putting him in more, and I'm like, yeah, yay. And like he's been really kicking ass, and that has just made me super happy. I believe that every showing that he's had recently has been super awesome. And so it was just a pleasure to watch. I am in the kind of same boat. We were talking about how the big men lose a lot. But at least Preston's a bigger man. Bigger. It's not like a Darby Allin, you know, like but all in all, yeah, very great spots. Lots of really cool sequences. And that happened in the women's four-way as well that we'll talk about. There's a lot of really cool sequences with everybody just like and I really enjoyed that. So very entertaining. If you haven't checked it out yet, totally do. But yeah, weird at the same time. Like it is odd to see them all together, you know, in a way. But it was fun.
No, I agree. Actually, I like the teams. I'm actually becoming a really big fan of the well, I guess not so much Brian Cage. I could take from or leave on Brian Cage. I know he's done some good stuff, but I'm just kind of like meh. But the other members of the Mogul Embassy, I love those guys. I love their builds. I just love. I think they're a great team. I'm glad I'm seeing more of them in AEW. And I know you said that they're kind of losing. I mean, they are ROH, so. You know, I don't know if that's kind of a thing, you know, that them being in the ROH. But anyways, I thought it was a pretty good match. It's nice to see Edge in there. And I agree with you. Dustin does a great job, and he's been amazing. I mean, what is he? Is he 53 or 56? Like he is not.
Let's find out.
He's not a spring chicken. And every time he stepped up, and I know we're talking about Dynamite, but the Collision, it was really nice to see that he gave him a really good shot in a really great match and gave him a win, which was really great. Because I was really hoping, because sometimes when these guys get up in age, they almost are there to develop the talent while still getting some of the spotlight. So I was glad that they did give him the win on the Collision on the night on the Saturday night. But yeah, you know, I like Preston Vance. He's 54. Yeah.
54. Yeah.
And he looks great. I think
he does.
Still moves. And the thing is, you can always tell when a guy slows down by how quick he moves, and he's still quick. He's still fast, which I love. So I agree. I agree with you, Siren, on the Dustin Rhodes. I'm kind of like if this is his last kick and his last ride.
Come a big bang.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think he's can go up there, and they'll put him the way he's performing. He'll finish off his career against some of the biggest names in the company because he'll be able to still go. So I'm looking forward to that. I did like how they gave Preston Vance the win. You can see the crowd is still behind him, and so you know, is this, and I, you know, should he be is he turning in face? Is he going towards this? I mean, should they give him a bigger chance, a bigger spotlight again? Because even when he was 10, people loved him, right?
Why would you mask that gorgeous face, though?
I know, and obviously that must have been a big thing. Look, he's got a face. Let's expose it. Let him perform. I don't know I don't know what happened. People are like, what happened to the guy? Was he just relic to to the Dynamite? To Rampage that maybe people aren't watching as much, or they just weren't using him. But I definitely feel that they, there is a crowd for him, and there is definitely. I think that we're going to see maybe more of them. And we should.
Well, now that Roosh is back, he's been kind of popping up a little bit more too.
Yeah, and I like Roosh. So, anyway, so no, I thought it was good. That was a good match. The big men need to start winning again, and then we went on to a segment with Renee Paquette. She was backstage with the Bullet Club Gold, with Jay White and the Undisputed Kingdom. They're going after. So there's they're going back and forth. They're starting a new, a rivalry, the new storyline that's happening with Jay White and the Bang Bang Club. That they're gunning after the Undisputed Kingdom. So, but Connor, any thoughts on the interview there that Jay White did, or just Jay White in general and his viewpoint?
I really like Bullet Club Gold. I do not like what they're fixing to do. I feel like they're going to put them with the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn. That's just not okay. There's not many trios teams in the AEW trios division, so you're going to eliminate the one and only team you probably have right now for them to go against each other. I know this next Wednesday they're going for the ROH 6-man belts, but at this point, the ROH 6-man belts feel more superior than the AEW trios titles because. We haven't really seen the trios belts on AEW besides when they're out to just talk, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like they've just been going against Top Flight and Action Andretti. That's all they're going against. That's the only people that I can remember. I hope that they end up turning it into a Bullet Club Gold versus Acclaimed and Billy Gunn. Hopefully that's what they're doing. I like to see Bullet Club Gold as trios champions. Juice Robinson is out right now. So
what happened? What's going on with him? Do you know?
I don't know what really. I know he's injured. I know I've seen something that he was injured, and that's why he's been off TV for a little bit. But yeah, I hope that they. I'm really curious to see where they go with the Bullet Club Gold and Undisputed Kingdom because the week before we saw Jay White come out and confront Adam Cole and all that. So I'm curious to see where that goes. But I just hope they do not put those two. The Acclaimed and Bullet Club Gold together. I'd rather see them against each other than together.
Siren?
Connor, I totally agree with you. I love the Acclaimed. I love the Acclaimed. Everybody loves the Acclaimed. I love the Acclaimed. But yeah, I thought it was really weird. Then I get the whole the devil kind of screwed both of us. I just feel like it's a really weak basis to form some sort of friendship on, especially and coming especially from Anthony Bowens being the one to deliver the pitch when Max Caster was trying to hook them up with MJF, and it's we have this actual history, we've known each other for years and yada yada, and Anthony Bowens was but you were literally just fighting with these guys and had the biggest out with them, and now you're well, we both have the same bully, so and I just didn't like it. I felt it was really weak, especially since Anthony Bowens, to me, was always a very opinionated, strong opinionated person. And it kind of felt wishy-washy in his character. And I know that I shouldn't be nitpicking, but I get very emotionally attached to these characters. Especially the Acclaimed is one of my favorite group of people. I think that I actually didn't like the Acclaimed when I first started watching them. So now I absolutely love them. They've grown on me, and I thought that it was silly. I really hope that they beat the tar out of Bullet Club Gold the first time, and then they can have the belts. Okay, Connor? But I want the first time to be.
I want to. I don't care who wins at first. I just want to see them against each other.
Oh heck yeah, no for sure. But I would love to see the trios belts on Bullet Club Gold. They do deserve it. They're a fantastic trio.
I'd like to see a full-on story. If maybe they beat the Bullet Club Gold one time, then Bullet Club, Cole come back and win them. Yeah.
See, I would love that. That would be
And,
awesome.
and if
And
you,
together it doesn't work.
I don't know if you guys caught Jay White when they said, "We're not a faction, we're a gang." That was funny.
Yeah.
Because they were talking about factions, and he wanted to make sure that they are a gang, which is actually kind of funny. So there, from there, we went. What do we have next? After that, we went right to Samoa Joe, all dressed up, looking great as the new AEW champion, and he came out and basically said, "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Samoa Joe, and I stand here before you tonight as your AEW World Champion." And basically said, "There's going to be some changes in here. There's no more. You have to come out and whine for an opportunity. You just bring your record, and basically bring your cojones, and I'll review it with the committee, and the committee is myself, and basically I'll decide if you deserve a championship match," which is great. I think Samoa Joe is going to be, this is for me, it's a bit refreshing. I think for a lot of people are going to be behind Joe, because they just love whatever Joe does. I think he always puts on a great match and a great promo, obviously. And I love when he came out in the suit. So I love how that respect keeps going. I love it. And then we had none other than Swerve came out. I guess, he's kind of trying to prove his point, saying he's going to take the belt. And then from where we had Hangman came out again. So then we had all three of these guys in the ring. Connor, what did you think?
No, I thought it was really good. I thought it was a good way to start putting out new challengers for the world champion, since MJF's out of the picture. What's next? Who is Joe? Like, this is a new chapter for the world title. And I don't know if you noticed, but there's a new championship design. It's basically the same design, except that like the way WWE has the side plates, like the custom side plates for champions, is now on the AEW belt, and the logo, like in the middle AEW, is a little bit different. But basically the same belt that he carried out. I thought it was really good. I think at Revolution we might. Before I say that, the week before that, Adam Cole said that Wardlow will be going for, the AEW World Championship. I thought he should have been out there doing something. Not unless they're wanting to save that for after Revolution, but I think we're going to get some type of multi-man match for the world title at Revolution. I'm looking for it to be Joe, Hangman, and Swerve. And hopefully, I want to see Joe win. I don't want it to be just a transitional champion. I want to see, this is probably his last run as world champion in any company, because WWE never really gave him that. The last time we seen him as a world champion really was in TNA, and that was years ago. I think he can do really good as the world champion. His first challenger is already hooked next week. I think that's going to be a really good match. But personally, if I was booking that, I would have Joe pin Hangman, so you don't really kill Swerve's momentum. But he still looks good. Joe wins. Hangman can take the pin. He's already lost against Swerve twice. But yeah, I thought the promo was really good. I really liked them setting up new challengers, and going into a new direction for the world title.
Gotcha. Siren, what are your thoughts on this one?
I absolutely love Samoa Joe, and people are gonna be like, "What? Didn't you love MJF? Weren't you super mad?" Yeah, I was, but it was mostly just because of how it happened, and not because it was Samoa Joe. I mean, Joe is inevitable. We all knew that, right? So, yeah, and I'm very upset when people are like, "Oh, he's just gonna be a transitionary champion." I hope not. His whole like the Joe's regime kind of thing, like I love that. I love the feel he brings to it, like that intensity, and kind of like that cocksure, like, yeah, you know what, come out here, bring all your list of people that you beat and like watch me beat you, and then move on, right? Like, it's just, I love it. And I hope that they're not gonna like rush everything and just like pop it on Swerve, and as much as I am excited to see the Hook and Samoa Joe match, because as I believe it was Connor who mentioned it, it's pretty much going to be like Hook and Taz. Yeah, and like, so hell yes, I am there for it. I just like, and I couldn't help it. Like, my automatic reaction when I saw the promo that Hook dropped, I was like, you're barely learning how to talk. Like, you picked up that mic like 2 months ago, man. Like, you said your first words like last year on this program. you're not world title ready yet. Like, you know, like you're not. Like, I mean, but hey, yeah, he's getting himself out there. He's doing promos. The promos aren't awful. And maybe a whole, like, I mean, who's to say a silent mostly character couldn't be world champion? I don't know. I just felt it was really soon. I'm excited to watch Samoa Joe beat him up. It's gonna be good. Like,
my thought, I don't know if you guys thought, or if anyone watching has any thoughts. You had two guys just go in the ring, Swerve and Hangman, saying, "I want that belt. I want my championship match. Yeah, I'm in line. I'm ahead of you." And then Hook just comes in, goes head to head. Okay, well, Hook's got a championship match next week. Look, well, why? Why does he just bud the line? If they're going to do this to give the experience, it should be a non-title match. There's no.
but now there's no lines. You have to remember that though. Now there's no lines. Joe said there's no lines. There's no succession. There's no. It just bring your credentials. And have you looked at Hook's record? Like the man has a pretty solid win-loss ratio. He has like a 97% win rate, my guy. Like if we're going off numbers, technically Hook has some solid freaking numbers.
Just jobbers.
Yeah, 100%. But that doesn't matter. Look at Jade Cargill and her massive run, where she would walk in the ring, take somebody with no name, literally win the shit out of them with one move, and sit on them, and 1, 2, 3, done. That's another one in her belt. But like if you were looking at numbers in the promo, like it did come after the whole Samoa Joe was like, there's just bring your credentials, and he does have solid numbers. I will say that. Do I think that he deserves a title shot? No. Do I think he's ready for a title shot? Definitely not. Am I gonna enjoy watching Samoa Joe beat him up? Yeah.
I don't mind it being them fighting. I just don't think it should be for the belt. So it should be a non-title match, and there's nothing wrong with giving the experience and Hook being in a match against Samoa Joe, who is the champion. But don't make it for a title match, because again, to me, it takes away. It's almost like what they were doing with Seth Rollins, where he's like, "I'm a defending champion every week," but then you're just getting championship matches to like guys that they're not going to win, right? Just that's the sake of having a match, and just to say, "Hey, I defeated my streak." They're not doing it. It's like the opposite of what they're doing with Roman, right? Of how he's only defending it every at pay-per-views or special occasions, right? So I just think when you throw a guy like Hook to get a championship match immediately, it just takes away from like the prestiginess to me of the actual championship belt. It should be defended by who is truly, truly deserving. And if not, then you have a non-title match, right? For the experience. So anyway.
Can we compare win-loss ratios to people in line? Because like I'm just curious. Like,
but then you have to agree. There's win-loss, but then there's win-loss against who? Right?
Well, exactly. But I mean, but that's the whole thing that Samoa Joe was kind of saying, was that he was changing it to be just number-based.
Power shot, it's Colton Gunn, because he's won 92 matches and only lost like 17.
That's Colton. You see?
Really? Yeah.
See? But like that's what I mean. With using the number base, even if it's like against who, then it's not just like random people, they are people who do wrestle. They can show the numbers in the bottom. But I mean, I would love to see that, because like imagine if one of them won, you know what I mean? Like just like that random, I don't think that's gonna happen. Did you really think that Ricky Starks and Big Bill were gonna be champions?
No.
Yeah, Colton Gunn is 84-17, and Austin Gunn is 81-19. Really good.
That's some insane numbers, my guys. Like, I don't know. I think it would be crazy. I think it would be cool. Although I do understand, Maddie, completely where you're coming from, where people like you don't see a whole heckin' lot of them, because the matches aren't necessarily all on Dynamite, and it is a record that goes like, I'm pretty sure they span over the. Is it just the 1 year? Right?
Mm-hmm. With what I just said?
Yeah, like it was just the last year, correct?
Those numbers are like the all-time records.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, yeah, I was like, so, but like, I mean, still, it's like, it's.
One of those more embarrassing. Like, we're talking about really good numbers. So, Serpentico is 17-127.
Who is that?
Serpentico. He's won 17 matches, lost 127 matches.
What's his alter ego? The other guy.
John Cruz. You could probably add another 3 losses if you want.
Oh, yeah.
But you know what I'd like to see is like someone like that, like he has a role. So I would love to see if the real test is to see what does his paychecks look like. Because some of these jobber guys that, especially back in the 80s and 90s, who really were helped to help elevate some of the talent, these guys had continuous like business, right? It had continuous work. So
Oh, yeah.
someone like Serpentico, who is losing all the time, he can make guys look great in squash matches, especially with the big guys. And he was on there quite a bit. So it's like, hey, do you want to work? You're going to get paid and you still get on prime time on our biggest show, but you're going to lose again. Most guys are like, yeah, okay, I want to work. I just want to perform. Right.
Sounds good to me.
So that's, I can see like, that's a kind of character. That's a kind of, being a developmental guy.
Yeah.
But I bet he probably makes some pretty good money for what he's doing. Right. He was doing. So you know what? Good for him for making a living doing that. But I'll just segue over to the next segment, which was Renee Paquette was backstage with AEW Women's Champion Timeless Toni Storm, Mariah May, and Luther the Butler. Mariah asked if Toni watched her match, and Toni said that she sent a screener, but she didn't see a single frame. Renee asked Toni about Diona Perozo showing up on Dynamite last week. So, Connor, what do you? Did you see the promo, and what are your thoughts? How do you like in Toni Storm? So her character development.
I think it's been really good. I think Tony's done really good with this character. I'm curious to see where this goes with Mariah May after she lost against. No, she won, but if anyone's seen her promo that she cut after Deonna Purrazzo did what she did, she basically was mad at Toni Storm as well. So she said in her promo, so I'm curious to see how that goes. Yeah, I really like Toni Storm's character, but I was watching All Out 2022 just a few days ago, and I really missed her other, like the first character that she had in AEW. I really missed more serious Toni Storm, but she's still a good wrestler. Like it doesn't matter what character she could play a Doink the Clown type character and still be one of the best in the entire women's division. Yeah, I really like her character, and curious to see where she's going with wherever she's going. I feel like we're gonna get her and Deonna at Revolution, probably. But yeah, I really like her character.
Good. Siren, what's your thoughts on the segment here as they introduce Deonna into the mix, and just where they're going with the characters, with Toni and Mariah?
I am super stoked about Deonna. I think that she is like goddess tier, and I'm very excited to see the Virtuosa in here. I think it's gonna be great. I think it's gonna add a little bit to the mix for sure. Hopefully, get some good storylines going in the women's division. We can really get that, more traction, and that makes me happy. I'm glad that they're doing storylines as well, like with Mariah, because like I don't think that she's gonna go straight for like women's title or anything like that. But I mean I hope not anyway. Like I hope that they do some more non-title storylines with women. Because there's so many ladies and like only one bitch can wear the belt at a time. So but like other than that, really good. I'm on the opposite side of Connor, actually. I hated Toni Storm when she came to AEW. I thought that her character was, I don't know. It's just I'd seen it many times with the like, I'm awesome, I'm so great. Like, yeah, I know, I'm good, I'm Toni Storm. That I didn't enjoy it at all. And now I feel the exact opposite. Like I'm in that boat where she could do pretty much anything, and I'm like, yep, I'd watch her, because I wasn't open to her in the beginning at all. I did not like her. That was also right after the hiring boom though, and I was very adverse to them like adding in massive talent just to come in and stomp all over my homegrown AEW people. I was very butthurt during that era. So yeah, so I had this aversion to her, and now I absolutely love her. So I'm really excited to see where they're gonna go, and how they ever segue back to Sanity is gonna be neat. I'm excited.
Yeah, no, it's you know what? Again, her characters is getting better and better, and she's funny. Like I can see, like she's got a real comedic way about her. When they asked her, when I say, for example, here when Renee asked asked her about if she had known or is she familiar with Deonna, and she said, that name sounds familiar. All these women coming after my title. I feel like the prettiest girl at the dance. Luther, set me up a meeting with this Deonna. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. So it's funny, like she is funny. Granted that, so she is entertaining. I think they're going to keep, if this character needs the title, like she's making the title. I think she's doing a great job with it. I hope she does hang on with it as this continues. So when she does lose, it is actually going to be a big thing. So that's great. So I do appreciate what they're doing with the character. So then from there, we actually get back into the ring where we have AEW World Tag Champion, Absolute Ricky Stark, as he goes one-on-one with Sammy Guevara. Connor, what are your thoughts on this one?
I thought it was decent for the first few minutes, and then it just got out of. Once Jericho came out, and then it just. I thought it would have been like a really good Sammy match, because Sammy Guevara can put on a lot of good matches. If you look at like a lot of the biggest moments in AEW, he's probably in just about every single one of them, whether it's diving off a cage, a ladder, stage, get hit by a golf cart, like whatever it is, he's probably in one of all the best moments in AEW history. I thought the match was pretty good itself. Hopefully Ricky Starks can get. It looked like he got pretty banged up in that match towards the end of it. It wasn't how I thought it would have been. I thought it would have stole the show, but I didn't really feel like it did. But I feel like they were saving a lot of that for Battle of the Belts for a tag team title match, because they wanted to make that the more superior match, because that's what they're building towards. But that was a pretty good match, a good build up to their match at Battle of the Belts for the tag titles.
Siren, what are your thoughts on the match and these guys going head to head?
I'm actually kind of in a little bit of a similar boat. I was very excited. I love both Sammy and Ricky. I'm like, and there was a couple of spots. I don't know but it was like, yeah, and but it was very lackluster for what they can do. Like, but then you see what happens at Battle of the Belts, and you're like, oh. All right, then I get that now. But yeah, during the match, it was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I preferred the ladies 4-way, and there's some funny bits in there, and and I preferred that.
So yeah, I mean, I thought you can see like Sammy came out and they like as if he loves Daly's place, and you could see that he was super excited to be there. Maybe overexcited. Maybe that's what happened. There were some good spots, but I agree with you guys. This had the making of like a killer match. What I think kind of confused people was the ending. Almost like, I think, Connor, you touched on it. Almost getting like kicked in the face by Sammy, and you see him, Ricky go down, and then he gets the pin, and it's kind of like, that was kind of awkward,
abrupt.
Or weird, where you're like almost that that kind of ending where you're like, did he really get hurt? Because it just like a weird and the pin. So I don't know if that was supposed to happen, or if it was a bit of a botch. It didn't quite come across as slick as they were hoping. And I know we're kind of leading up, because when they do that kind of, I know the end finisher was Big Bill coming in after it showed Sammy and Ricky kind of shaking hands, and I was, they kind of keeping there for a while. So I'm like, okay, what's happening? Because Big Bill's going to jump in, and then of course, Old Man Jericho runs into the ring. Unfortunately, I don't know if you guys noticed, but it was a bit of a lackluster code breaker, which he didn't even like touch Big Bill. But I don't know if it's because Big Bill was so damn tall, and by the time he leaned down, and Jericho was already on the ground before he could hit the knees in the chest. But anyways, they moved on quick, and maybe if they had the camera angle, that's what I'll give it to. Sometimes when I compare, like WWE would probably have the better camera angle from the behind, so all you see, you miss the knees missing, and then all you see is them bounce back. But anyways, that's okay. Yeah, I thought it was a decent match, but again, I know the build up, like you guys said, it's the build up for the big match that we're going to have on Battle of the Belts. So that's the real match, which I will watch. So we're coming to the match that Siren has mentioned multiple times, but we have an 8-woman tag match in honor of the Exalted One, Mr. Brody Lee with Anna Jay, as we would say would be the captain of the team. She gets as just like Preston, one of the two proteges of Brody Lee. So I like that they acknowledged that and acknowledged her for this. And she teamed up with Chris Statlander, Thunder Rosa, and Willow Nightingale. And they went up against the TBS champion Julia Hart, Sky Blue, Ruby Soho, and Soraya. So, Connor, what are your thoughts on this before we get into Siren's comments?
I thought it was a really good match. I really like seeing multiple women. We saw a total of technically 10 women, if you count Harley Cameron on the outside and Aubrey. Actual wrestling, so 8 women on Dynamite. Like we never get that. If we get that, there's gonna be some type of big thing happening. We never get that. It was really refreshing to see that from our world champions, past champions, possibly future champions in the future. It was great to see Thunder Rosa back in the ring. We only saw her once on Collision. I can see a lot of ring rust with Thunder Rosa. A lot. She looked good in some spots, and there's some spots where I feel like she was quick. Like she used to be so quick. She was really quick, and she'd get up fast. And I feel like she wasn't like that same Thunder Rosa. But with being out for a while as she was, it is going to take a little bit of time. We saw it with Soraya, but she's slowly improving over time. I thought the match overall was really good. Back and forth match. Everyone got their stuff in. Very good, fast-paced match. I like that Anna Jay got the pin because she won on Rampage. She beat Sky Blue, I believe. And she's been on – last year she lost a lot of matches. This year she's already picked up 2 big wins, the one on Rampage and this big match on Dynamite. She won by submission, I believe. No, did she get a pin? I don't know, but she got the win either way.
Yeah.
But it was a really good match, I thought.
Siren.
There was a spot when they were doing that 4-person, and when Julia Hart goes onto the wrong side, when she's with the other team, and she has to flip around to the bad guy side, and it was so funny, and I was just like, oh, wrong side. And I died. It was hilarious. And I get it. You're out there. Everything's real fast. And if you think about it, she talks about having an outside of the ring relationship quite often with the ladies on the other side. But yeah, it made me chuckle. I did notice, the ring rust a little bit with Thunder Rosa for sure. I'm still just I don't know what the heck is going on with her. So that's where I'm at with Thunder Rosa. And yeah, I'm glad that I got to see her wrestle again, but I would really like to see her cut a promo and tell me what the heck is going on, because right now you're in the ring, you're back, but her coming back was she didn't say anything really. I've not really heard her say anything. Where are you at, girl? What are you doing? Why are you back? I get it, you're back to wrestle, but why and who? I don't know. It's just
she'd like to say why she's back, but unfortunately, the boss doesn't want women to get more TV time.
That's unfortunate because, I really would love to have more Thunder Rosa story. She's put on phenomenal matches in the past. Her and Britt Baker have literally put on some of the best female matches that we've seen in AEW, and I just don't understand where she's coming from right now, and it's making me a little iffy on her, on her character, because I don't know her character at this point. I'm I don't know what's going on. But this one again had lots of really cool transitions. There was that one point where it was literally one chick to flip over and do a move to the other chick, and just constant transition in the center of the ring, and it was all done so fluidly and so well done. I loved it. It was really cool. And then I was hoping Anna Jay would win. As soon as Preston Vance won, I was if Anna Jay doesn't get this win, I will riot. I was very upset. So it was good.
I thought it was a pretty good match. There's lots going on. I do like except for that little botch that Julia Hart did that you just mentioned about being
It
on
was
the
so
right
funny.
side. I thought she's doing a great job of looking the part. She's looking more mature and almost. She just has a presence about her as champion. Like she's really embracing it, which is great because that's what you need. If you're going to be champion, you have to really keep a strong presence, right? Because there's so many girls. I mean, at Connor, and you mentioned like not the girls not getting the time. But that doesn't make sense. If you actually looked and list the entire female roster, I mean, he's paying a lot of women like to not wrestle. There's a lot, right? If you see how many there actually is on
It's not their fault,
right, which is not fault. So you're surprising. Like, why wouldn't you utilize a talent that you're bringing on and you're paying? Again, I'm a huge advocate. I still think I'm still calling it for London that you're going to see women tag champions crowned in London for the big event next summer.
That'd be cool.
I think there's going to be a tournament, and that's going to be one of these things that they need to sell tickets for a big show is to finally have women championship belts. That's my prediction, anyways. And then from there, you'll definitely see more ring time because then you'll have a match where at least 4 women are competing. Let alone managers around the ring. There'll be an extra 4 women getting time on the big shows again, which is good. So if they're warranted, especially if they're championship matches, I'm all for it. So from there, so again, it was a nice little win, to give the win to Anna Jay. I like that, and I think that's just a show of respect. So good for her, and I think she's good. There's no reason why she shouldn't get it. Next, we had a little promo that was ROH Pure Champion Wheeler Yuta had words for Eddie Kingston. Blah blah blah. Let's hey, bring it. We'll see you on Rampage. I don't think we need to go much further than that. And it takes us back to the ring where we had Roderick Strong with the Undisputed Kingdom versus Bounty Hunter Brian Keith. Connor, what are your thoughts on this one?
Finally figured out who you should be partnered up with. We've been talking about it a while for our live reactions, and I finally figured out. And no, it's not Sam Houston, who's 70-something years old. Actually, a trio. Bandito, who wears the hat. And
the Lucha Banditos.
And you got Hangman Page. That's 3 people. Just Hangman needs to wear a hat. He never wears a hat. So if he just had a hat, and then Bandito already wears a hat, and then he wears, there's your trio right there.
Oh, and then the
I would be so down. Oh my gosh. I'd be so down. Oh, it'd be so fun because you got like 3 different types of wrestlers there too, right?
Lucha, you got
I would classify Keith as like more like a strong
matching ponchos.
So Bandito's Lucha, Hangman's kind of what would you consider him, a brawler?
I would consider him like and then yeah.
Well, he's who are you talking about? Brian? Yeah, he'd be a brawler, but
and then Brian Keith is maybe brawler as well, maybe, or
I think he does almost like mix a little bit of martial arts in there, the way he kicks, the way he has that kind of look. But,
that's a really good trio. Whenever Bandito gets back, he's going to be out for a while still, but I thought that would be pretty cool. But the match, anyways, it was really good. I think Roderick Strong is definitely going for the international title. If he wants into ending to Battle of the Belts, that's definitely where they're going. Hopefully, Orange Cassidy does not have a championship much longer. Hopefully, they end that pretty soon. I think Roderick Strong I don't think he needs a championship, but he could definitely make the championship mean more. Having a championship. I thought the match was what it was supposed to be, not anything really special or anything. Just a quick, because that wasn't even advertised.
No,
which was it was what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, no, it was a bit of a showcase for Roderick. And he always puts on a good clinic. He's a great wrestler, and I think it was just it was a bit of a thumbs up to Brian. Like, hey, you know what? You're going to get another chance on TV. You did a great job the last one, and I can see that the guys get rewarded and the girls get rewarded when they do a great job, even if they lose. They give an extra other chances. It was almost like a setup. This was kind of a match, a bit of a showcase for Roderick because, you're right, I believe he is going to get some going for the international championship, but also just segued in for a promo, right, for the Undisputed. Adam Page, comes up with the chair, sitting with the chair, and blah blah blah, and they kind of go over all that stuff again. But I don't know. I don't like this. I already feel they're doing this Luchasaurus and Christian thing, like we're going to be the champions together, and you're going to give it to me. And they're kind of doing it with Wardlow and Adam Cole, and I'm like, well, they're already kind of doing this. We don't need it twice right now, like, right? Again, because you're looking at Wardlow, and then he's also like, look in the face, like, yeah, right, I'm going to do it. And you're like, okay, so it's already started. Like, they already just keep the groove. Stop trying to almost create that I don't know, tension between them. Right. I wish they kind of leave it alone there, because again, we're enjoying it with the patriarch right now in that storyline, and it works there. Don't bring it a second. It's going to lose its fizzle. So anyways, yeah. So we went on to Renee Paquette was backstage with the Virtuosa. Okay. Again, blah, 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 a bit of that. So I don't know if you guys want to talk about that. Not much there, but I'd rather get...
Oh, hold on. I do want to hit up the whole Eddie Kingston Wheeler Yuta thing, because I got skipped for this last match. But I do want to hit up on that promo. For anybody who actually, no worries, I don't mind at all. We are running a little close to our time anyway. But I do just want to say that anybody who didn't watch the Kingston Yuta match, it was good. I really enjoyed it, and I really liked watching Eddie Kingston whoop Tara.
Cool. Did you have any comments on Diona and her little promo?
I'm just super excited. Actually, what I have to comment on about her is something that I've experienced and that she has been going through. And so people have been body shaming her, and I didn't know that she looked any different than what she had before until I went back and was watching her archive. And I just want to say to people out there who are body shaming her, kick rocks. Like, oh my gosh. And her response though was classy AF. And yeah, I think that she's going to do absolutely phenomenal in the ring, and I think she's going to do great things for the women's division in AEW, and I am so thrilled to see what's gonna come of all of this story. And she just looks like I've mentioned it before, like a goddess to me. Like, I just see her and I see like powerful goddess woman, and I'm just like, yay. So yeah, kick rocks, people.
So were you talking about that when you said we look back on her archive, which I hadn't? I mean, I saw her in Toronto for the last Impact show, so I actually got to see her live. I was fifth row from the ring for that one. But when you went back to archive, was she bigger before, and she's now like slimmer, or was she slimmer before, or what you meant about like?
I would say that she was more. I would say slimmer. What you would call her slimmer, but I feel like she looks stronger now. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like she looks like she is more. People have been saying really not nice things about her, and I feel like her figure is absolutely perfect, and she looks gorgeous. And she wears it so well, and people have been not very nice. But you should look up her response to it. It was very classy and respect. Respect Ms. Virtuoso, because as somebody who has been every size you could possibly think of, like I have been from like 85 pounds skin and bones to over 350 pounds. I've been through and seen every single type of body shaming, and none of it is acceptable, nor is it fun to go through. And you handled it a lot better than I would have, because I would have definitely been throat punching some people. So,
it's a tough business, right? And and it's unfortunate that no matter who you are and how you look, no matter, because again, there's always going to be haters. It's too bad, right? So it's great that she has thick skin and doesn't let her, probably does a great job of letting it not affect her, right? So because she's probably like, who are you? I don't even know these random comments of random people. I can't let you take that kind of power away from me, and she's worked it. Obviously, she's getting to the level that she has because of hard work. You don't just get 100%. Where you are. So she is putting in the work. And whoever's body shaming her, she could probably go at her stamina would kill probably 80% of the people that were complaining about her. Going like, oh yeah, let's get in the ring. Let's run around. Let's see how long you can go. Let's see how, let's see your fat ass in this
Well,
ring.
and your endurance even. Like I've seen people who are like, I know like bodybuilders and stuff like that. Like one of the kids that I went to elementary school with grew up to be like one of Canada's top bodybuilders. And like, yeah, they are built and they are jacked, but you tell them to go run laps, good luck, my guy. First of all, that's a lot of weight to move around. And second of all, they are not built for necessarily endurance. They are built for definition, right? So like you have all these big meathead muscle guys in the gym being like, oh, look at you, chubby bunny, and like, okay, like, I don't know. It was just
Muscle's heavy.
Yeah, well, and I mean, like, she was so classy about it. She was like, something like, I sat down, I had a cry, and then I realized that, like, I am better than this. And I'm like, damn, yeah, man, I appreciate her and her honesty, and like I said, just powerful, super awesome stuff. Big fan, big fan.
All right. Agreed. I totally agree with everything that you mentioned. And we're going to segue into our main event, which is the Tornado Tag Match. Darby Allin and Sting versus the Callis family, the Don Callis family, which is the Tanishka and Powerhouse Hobbs with my favorite Don Callis. He's not my favorite, but I actually really like him. I think he's find him very entertaining. And for this one, we had Jim Ross join the commentary for the main event. And of course, no main event is complete without a Nature Boy Ric Flair intro. We're watching the old man get in the ring and they do his thing, and it takes him 25 minutes to get out of the ring. I don't know if you noticed, it took forever. And he can still come in and out, and he just seems to be okay and start doing slaps on Hobbs, and that seems to be okay just because it's Ric Flair, right? So, anyways, good match. Connor, your thoughts on the main event?
I thought it was pretty good. I thought it could have went without some things. I don't want to see Sting in a wheelchair before his last match, and that match could have done it. Like that match could have really done it. That one spot with. That was
the tables.
Yeah, I don't. If I'm TK, I do not want to live with the fact if he were to get paralyzed, I would not want to live with that. That you're responsible for, putting that man in a wheelchair. Because they said if he took one wrong landing in the ring, like just one wrong landing, that would be it. Which he looked like. I actually heard that Darby got the worst of it. You'd think Sting got the worst of it, but it's Darby who got the worst of that because he got through on the damn what was it, the stage thing
with the Takeshita when he went and did the coffin drop all the way from top. Yeah, that was a tough one.
Looked just like he always does. He finished the match and got the win and still became undefeated. That was a pretty good match overall, though. I just thought it could have went without some things.
Some good spots. So how did you and then at the end, the talk has been, who are going to be the last competitors. I don't know if you want to comment on this, or Siren, if you want to.
Yeah, I was going.
What your thoughts are on the match, and then we can talk about the ending.
The match was really cool, but yeah, Hobbs especially though for me lately has just been like I'm very nervous around him ever since that spot with the Big Show with with Paul White. I've just been like, stay away from my legends, like don't put your hands on my legends. And then so like when they were going over to do the spot, I was like losing it, and then it didn't look right when it landed, and I almost lost my mind. So yeah, I'm with Connor in that. I don't want to see him do any more dangerous spots like that, and Hobbs makes me nervous.
I thought it was a pretty good match. I like the painted tables with the faces. I thought that was a nice touch. This is I think the guys wrestled differently. Like this is his swan song. We all know it's coming to an end. This is the whole point. So he's giving it us all. It's not just like a wrestler. You're like, dude, it's time to retire. I'm tired. But it's not that force. It's that rejuvenated, like, you know what? I got a couple more. I'm going to give my all, and then I'm going to have the rest of my life to recover from whatever is going to happen. So I do appreciate that. But yes, I do have a few of those, like, oh my God, hold the breath moments, right? It's like watching a bottle, like you drop a bottle on the floor and you're like, is it going to smash or is it going to be okay? Right. So you're going to have a bit of that feeling. But no, it's good. I kind of like the that they did a match like this because I guess they were also kind of were pushing that Sting was introduced to AEW at Daly's Place. So again, they wanted to bring another thing that maybe was a special, something else happened to special, and then have one of these last matches at Daly's Place. So I like them how they always like to connect the dots. So it's good overall. I thought it was a good match, and then we see we get a little more clarity on which is potentially the last match. And who do we have come out, Connor?
The kids, the two toddlers,
with mustaches.
Oh, bad porno stashes.
Yep, they made their way back from the crib. They finally decided to show back up to work.
Siren, Simon, would you think when the boys are back in town?
At first, I was a little upset because I was like, no, and I was like, singles match, and then I really thought about it over the week, and it does make sense to put him in a tag match because he himself has said multiple times, like, he does not feel like he would do a singles match justice. Like, he doesn't feel like, it would be and I understand it. Now, would I love Sting's last match to be like this epic singles battle? Yeah, I totally would. If I saw him in a tag match, the Bucks are not bad wrestlers. They're phenomenal wrestlers. They can sell like champs. Like, you want somebody to get tossed around the ring and look like they are taking a beating? That's the Bucks. Like, they can do it, and they can do it well. And they've been wrestling with Sting and Darby since they got to the company. There's lots of chemistry there. There's lots of history there. Lots of trust. I do see how it could be a nice, safe 5-star tag team match. Like, the Bucks can put on a phenomenal show. They're talented. They're absolutely talented. And no matter what people say about their personalities or how they feel that they run the company or anything, or personal opinions aside, the men are stellar wrestlers. Like, and most people out there who don't like the Bucks, well, cool, you're gonna get to watch them get their ass whooped by a freaking icon and Darby Allin. Like, and I think if it is how it goes down, it wouldn't be a horrible match. Am I going like, oh my God, I hope it is? No. No. But I mean, I'm not opposed to it if that is what Sting decides, because it is up to him. It is already, Tony said, like, you can end when you want to and how you want to. So if that's what he chooses, that's what he chooses.
Right. No, I agree with you. The Bucks, love them or hate them, say what you want. They can put on great matches. And how many can you even mention a bad match that they've had? They can make anybody look great. They've made Private Party look great when they first came in. They've had great matches with FTR,
Lucha Bros,
like everybody they've had great matches with. So I think if it is Sting's last match, it's going to be a great match, and these guys are going to perform amazing. Who's not? I mean, if someone's like, if Sting is picking you to be in his last match, my God, like, this is one of the biggest matches of your entire life when Icon picks you. So I know anyone would show up, but the Bucks are going to show up, and I think they're going to look really well with Darby because they're that same kind of size, that same kind of high flying ability. So I think you're going to see a lot of that, which will take a lot of the pressure off of Sting. He'll have some good. I just hope they don't bring out any tax. Like, please don't bring out the bag of tax with Sting or anything like that. Like, no, I don't need any of that.
It's supposed to be regular. It's supposed to be a regular tag team match, but no one AEW.
You never know.
They'll bring out a table and it won't be even a disqualification.
Yeah,
Like, what the
that's
heck?
great. So, anyways, I thought it was a good show overall. And we can always touch on as we're just over the hour limit. So here, so we can also kind of mention and give our final thoughts on the Battle of the Belts on our next show. Just to kind of
Yeah.
start off, we can do a bit of a recap and what we thought were the highlights from there. But overall, I think that was a good show, guys. If Connor, any final thoughts for the night?
I do want to show these. I found these. End of action, Hangman, Bandito, and the only thing that's missing is Hangman's hat.
I
And
think that.
I thought this was cool too.
Ooh, I like it.
Oh, that's actually super
Oh,
awesome.
man. Are people getting behind this?
Yes, like it's a real thing on Instagram and Twitter. Like
I'm
really,
so for it.
it's starting to blow up a lot. But Hangman's got to go back. He's got to ditch the mustache. He's got to bring like the cowboy stuff back. Then Bandito needs to stop being injured all the time. And then
Good luck.
we can have this awesome trio. Like this could make a lot of. I think I would buy a shirt that had that. Like this design right here, I would buy that shirt. Like
Heck yeah.
I would buy that.
That's actually really cool.
That
And
is
the,
super
and the
cool.
figures, the toyetic figures you could do, the
Oh, yeah.
video game stuff you could do with that. The
You could even play up. I mean, the names like
Yeah.
it could be. They could be the Hangman. They could be the Bounty Hunters. Like
I love it.
there's so many. There's so many names. Is there a cowboy manager that you could throw in with them?
technically yes, but I don't know how Cowboy Bob Orton. I don't know
Oh,
how
yeah.
that would work because I don't even know what he does anymore. But
Is there any females that could pull off a cowgirl, like kind of bounty hunter, that kind of style to go with the men? 'Cause-
actually yes, but I don't know how people would.
oh,
Rebel, she actually did that in TNA.
Oh, Rebel should be. She wasn't originally a wrestler for AEW though, right?
She was in TNA. Like that's how I know her. Is in TNA.
Yeah.
Like that's what she used to do. Is she was actually Dallas Cowboys cheerleader before she was in the wrestling.
Oh, cool.
So that kind of.
I don't know what you guys think, but who comes to mind on the female side who could join in? I'm thinking Thunder Rosa because she has again that Mexican is that cowboy like that, especially with the makeup, and then she's had it where she can wear the black. And she's hardcore. She can be hardcore as well. I just think it kind of mixes with that. If you're doing the Cowboys, Texas, the Mexican thing, right?
Yeah, like in
right?
the old desert cartel kind of
Yeah.
cool stuff. Awesome. I would be down. I would watch that. And if I mean, like, you give Thunder Rosa a story because at this point she's got nothing.
Yeah. So
Except for blonde Barbie hair.
Thank you, creator.
The viewers, anyone chime in who's watching this right now? What you guys think?
I'm gonna
what do you
put
guys
that
think?
on.
I'm sold now, Connor, that you put that poster up. I'm sold.
Right? Like that looks legit.
Now that you say Thunder Rosa, I'm gonna put that in Twitter and get that blown up because
Do it up.
is blown up.
Yeah, you totally should put Rosa in there. I think that'd be great. Yay! What a fun adventure.
Great.
Awesome, that'd be great. Well, this has been a great show again, guys. Thanks so much for being with us, Siren, Connor. You guys are great, and thanks to everyone who tuned in to watch and listen to another episode. Tell your friends and family. There it is. See?
That looks badass.
Okay, I'm not wrong.
Like that's how that show. Like that's how that should work. Like.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't know how long that would take to put together because one person's injured and then Hangman's involved in their story. At least by the end of this year, that could be a possibility.
I still think you could take Hangman out and put Reynolds in, and it'd be fine.
Trios champion, and then you can make Thunder Rosa one of the women's champions, so they have all the gold.
Yeah, I think they should. Like how APA had their own like little backstage segment.
Mm-hmm.
I actually came up with this like them having their own type of gig like that, like the APA had, but kind of like a Western type thing. Kind of like Tony Storm does her, like everything's black and gray.
That would be like sepia tones.
That would be kind of. I don't know how that would work, but.
Well, they could go on bounty hunts. Like.
Hey, we've already seen a lot of like Will Nightingale was on Food Network.
That's cool shit.
So having Bandito, Hangman, and Brian
Well,
Keith.
it's almost like, are you gonna make them guns for hire? Right.
Oh,
So
that'd be cool.
I've already came up with the first feud. Could be with the Bullet Club Gold.
ooh,
So there you go. For
I
trios.
love it.
Best gunslingers in AEW.
Okay, well we've said it here first, guys. We can always go back. We've got the tape to prove it. Our predictions, nice to be really cool. We can go on and on with these. But you know what? Our time is up. Another great show. Thanks so much for everyone tuning in. Well, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week for another episode. Thanks,
Bye.
guys. Have a good night.